Hello, everybody. Welcome
Welcome into the booth.
inside the booth. I'm your host, Dan, the Law Arena, and we have,
Dreaming Tabitha. Of course, I'm here.
yes, you are. The
I
chairman.
say that knowing that I'm kind of taking a break in September. So, of course, I'm here now,
Don't tell anybody,
right
because then they
now.
won't come watch just me.
Oh, I'll be back, guys. I didn't say for how long. I'm not going to be gone forever. Of course not. Can't get rid of me that easily,
Oh, good.
no matter how hard you try.
So
Dan's been kind of mean lately.
That's it. I'm an angry person.
You say while you're in your you look shawl or your cloak, just kind of hanging out. My goodness, it's funny.
It's fun. It's fun. This is not the original cloak that I made. That one got lost in travels, but
Oh,
it
where
was
were you
nice.
going? A
It was
certain
nice.
Mount Doom?
No, that's when I, lived in that place. I
That
like.
place we won't talk about.
That's it.
Right? Yeah. Oh,
No,
you've
it's
even
good.
got a nice little canister thing there.
Yeah. You don't
Nice.
remember this last
It's
stream?
been a while. Dan goes through many a Stein, so
Well, it was just Sunday that I used
oh,
this.
whoops. Well, I'm not very observant, then, guys.
Um,
I had much on my mind. We were talking about one of my most favoritist movies. I couldn't concentrate because of the love in my heart that I had for Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship
that's it.
of the Ring.
That's it. That's it. That's what it was. I believe it. Um,
It's my
so
excuse and I'm
tonight,
sticking with it.
tonight, what are we talking about, Tabitha? Go ahead, tell
What
everybody.
are we talking about, guys? We are talking about The Horn of Gondor, a fan film, which we are going to discuss. Is it better than The Rings of Power, this billion-dollar TV show that Amazon has created, versus this fan film made by some lowly YouTubers like us?
That's it.
That's
That's
what
it.
we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
So it should be a good show because got a lot to say.
And it's good to be a YouTuber or a inspiring filmmaker. It's fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to, you know, if you haven't made a video yourself, go try it. It's pretty fun to do.
Well, it's quite a journey to become a filmmaker, but with all of the things that we have these days to
Yeah, I mean, you
create.
can make a film from your phone for crying out loud, almost. Somebody
Yeah,
who's
some
got
people do.
such high definition stuff. I mean, you could make like a short little film off of that. That's crazy.
And some people just have that Steven Spielberg-esque quality to them. Um they just know how to do movie magic, even with the simplest products, which, judging by the way that this film was recorded and created and edited, I think they may have the magic touch, Dan.
That's it. Well, I saw a lot of drone footage. That was good
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Kind of like the B-roll and the drone footage that they used, and it was
Hmm.
cool. It was cool.
Oh, let me get my pen out
Um,
for when we start doing scoring. I
oh,
forgot. Got to
that's
get my
right.
handy dandy pen out.
Yeah,
All right.
this was pretty. It was pretty decent. Decent fan film there. Too bad Amazon didn't catch up with these guys. A couple years back to say, hey, can we use you guys to make a fan film
Or to
Lord of
help
the
us
Rings
create this, yeah.
thing?
I mean,
These
I'm
guys like
sure.
they. I think they kind of followed the lore a little bit. I mean,
Um,
like the commentary, anyways. I mean, it might not have followed the lore. I don't know because I don't read books, but it was pretty cool.
get the audiobook, Daniel. Enjoy it. Well, I mean, so that kind of goes into the first, what's it called? Category. I was going to say the first spot, and that's not what we do here. The first category with the plot is that, this is 500 years before the Fellowship of the Ring.
Right.
So, a little bit of backstory there. Now, I will openly admit that I do not have a lot of knowledge on all of the history that Tolkien, created for this world. So, as far as is it
But there's
historically accurate to the lore, I cannot say. However,
there's a bunch of
um,
YouTube videos out there. You don't have to read all the time. these YouTubers, they tell you a lot of stuff.
Dan's looking for any means possible to escape having to read the written word,
And that's
our beautiful language. And I get it. Some people just don't prefer. I don't understand it.
some
Like I
people
can't
don't learn
fathom that.
from reading sometimes, and then they learn better from other people.
Right.
It's just a thing.
It's true. Everybody has a different way. I guess that I can't really fathom that. Some people can't understand why I love to read. I know people that don't even understand why I like watching the same movie over and over again, like Lord of the Rings. I had some friends that were like, you saw it one time. Why? We're like, man, why do you think they sell them on DVD? So you can watch them again. But
Right.
I just couldn't understand it. Like, saw it once, whatever. Okay. You just go sit in your corner. But, so as far as the lore and everything, so the plot, guys, for the Horn of Gondor, I mean, there you go. You've got your main thing there, the Horn of Gondor. So, bad things are about to happen.
That's right.
As they usually do in a good story. And there's a lowly Gondorian. I guess I don't remember exactly what his rank is. He's part of the
From Minas
military
Tirith.
from Minas Tirith, and setting out to find the rest of find the rest of the help and things like that, right? And man, he ends up in the woods and everything, and travesty happens. A lot of his comrades are killed, and what I don't really know for certain is if the characters, the bad guys that are later on portrayed, if they were meant to be orcs, if they were Uruk-hai. Well, I guess they weren't Uruk-hai because they weren't part of Isengard's army, but they were a little bit strange because they
Look more like a Irishman. That one guy with the black hair and
but they were like half men, half orc. Some of them, it almost seemed like, but more human than they were orc. Which and it didn't bother me because I guess we're to go into it. Like it was well done, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't really look like orcs, but they weren't full on human. But that didn't bother me because the costuming was so well done. Like, did you notice the main bad guy had a bald cap on, but it was so like you could see when he turned around if you pay attention, but like it was just
you see the wrinkles in the back a little bit, but
the story and everything was, when we'll talk more about all the rest of it, but the story was so interesting and done well enough. There wasn't a lot of dialogue in this.
Yeah.
And you could follow along, and it gets intense at the right moments. And so anyway, so this guy is going up against, he's trying to find his fellow soldiers, goes up against the bad guys. The bad guys, spoilers, by the way, guys, the bad guys almost win. And then out of nowhere come the Rohirrim. And I think it's supposed to be basically how a certain section of Rohan came to be. Like Gondor and Rohan came together. I think this might have been when was the forging of the ally, the kinship between Gondor and Rohan. I think that's what this story is about. So like I said, 500 years prior to the Lord of the Rings, and Rohan comes to, which is that's how it is. Rohan comes to Gondor's aid.
Yeah.
And so I think that's of course where that bitterness, that saltiness that Theoden King and the Two Towers, kind of has a bitter taste for. But that would be the main premise of this story is looking for help.
Yeah.
Getting in danger and forming a lasting kinship for at least 500 years. At least 500 years. I give the plot a point. It's pretty, and apparently this was taken according to the description box. I didn't check to see. Yeah, there it is. So if you click on the link down below later on to watch this fan film, you can check in their description box. And they talk, and even there's narration in this, and they talk about that this is based off of the extended stories from Tolkien.
Right. Yeah, so I'll also give it a point. I enjoyed watching it anyways, and I loved the narration part in the beginning. That was probably one of my favorites. The guy sitting there with the big book, and he's kind of flipping the page and talking about it and stuff. So that was really cool. So I'll give it a point as well.
Oh, let me put it down in black ink. It's sealed.
Sealed. Of course, this is only a 19-minute long video, so it's not like you can really get a deep depth storyline plot
I
going.
mean, I disagree because it gets the main point across, and
Oh,
I
right.
did it kind of leave me, wanting more. Um, and I mean, getting deep in into depth, it does it expand. I think because of the narration, maybe that's different. If it hadn't been for the narration, a
Right.
lot would be missing from the story. Like Dan said, it's only 19-ish minutes long, so without the narration, yeah, you'd be kind of lost in the woods, like our fellow Gondorian there.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right. So yeah, so I mean, the next thing would be what is it? Acting. I always get those. No, I get usually cinematography and music backwards. Acting. I'm on it, right? I've got the right
Yeah,
one this
you're
time.
on.
I'm getting better. It's only been a year, guys. A little over a year. I'll get it. I promise. By the end of the year, down packed, all the
There you go.
categories in the right order.
Hmm.
Um. Oh, also, if I might just with this, since we're kind of contrasting with the Rings of Power a little bit here,
Yeah, a little bit. There you go.
the
Mine's
plot, you know,
the plot of
again,
this one's better. I don't know. I haven't seen The Ring of Power, so
so I have, and the Rings of Power, just like it seems like it's all about Galadriel.
hmm.
And that seems very bizarre because I don't remember all, Tolkien's work being about just one person. I mean, even in the
Right.
Fellowship of the Ring and everything, it's about Frodo, but it's really not about Frodo,
Yeah, it's about
right?
everybody and Frodo.
Tolkien likes a big cast, and so this really is, you do get that sense, and I don't want to be jumping on trends and tropes of the Twitterverse and stuff like that, making up my own mind. Yeah, you get this sense where we're following Galadriel's struggle of becoming who she was. Eh, that's not something I'm interested in because honestly, it takes away for me personally, it takes a lot of the majesty away from her character. I like a little mystery when it comes to my most prominent and glorious characters. And I wish I did know more about the lore of Tolkien's world to be able to say whether or not the fan film is a lot closer to Tolkien's work than to Amazon's, or what Amazon's done. I'm going to have to probably go with the fan film just because it seems like fans who create these kinds of things really care and really strive because they're not really making money off of this. So they're trying to attract a certain kind of audience, right? They're
Right.
trying to find fellow Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings fans.
Right.
And so for that, yeah, the Rings of Power, it kind of seems like it has several different plots. And again, it's a TV show, so that makes sense,
Hmm. Hmm.
but at the same time, I am a little lost in the story as to where it's going. So,
That's all right. So, anyways, let's get back to the acting of this beautiful fan film. I would have to say, uh,
that's what you have to say? Well done.
I might have to give it a half a point because I liked some of the acting, but then there's
Oh.
certain parts of it did not like. Uh, it looked a little woodland or looked stiff, you know.
Stiff.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Like what? Which parts
but
do you?
of course, this is a fan film, so not everybody is an actor. But I'm sure they. I mean, most of them did all right, and I enjoyed. Okay, maybe I'll give it a point because I did enjoy the acting of the horse. That was
Oh, yeah.
great acting. That horse did an awesome job. The
Yeah, that
white horse.
impressed me, to
Yeah,
be honest, that they could get like they invested so much into this that they could find somebody who had a horse already trained that
right.
could do
Or they
that.
trained that horse themselves, because there
Um,
are some people out there who do train their horses to do weird, crazy stuff all the time.
right, and I think that's pretty impressive to add that in there. It wasn't CGI. Like they legitimately, like in
Yeah,
the olden days, old
yeah, yeah,
film, they had a horse fall to the ground because it was injured.
yeah.
Um, yeah, you're right. The horse should get an extra special,
I think so.
star,
They even put like some makeup on the horse's leg,
Yeah.
the arm of the leg there. It's not really an arm; it's a leg.
It's a front leg. Yeah.
The front leg. And then they bandage it up, and the horse is kind of moving just slightly, not too much,
Mm-hmm.
So it's alive and it's real. So
Yeah, I kind of thought it died, to be honest, at one point. I was like, oh, nope, it's still
I
there.
think it was supposed to be dead, like after he wakes up the next day. I think it was supposed to be dead, and they got the horse to lay still so long. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think the choreography for the fight scenes was done really well. Again,
Yeah,
for
it was good.
a
They
fan
did.
film.
Yeah, they did do some jump cuts on them, so it wasn't perfect, but it was okay. It was good.
I didn't find it choppy, and let me put it this way: it was light years ahead of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was made by professional Hollywood people, right? This fan film took it to another level and way better than Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, it wasn't stiff. It wasn't like twirl and hiya, no, like
Right,
it
right.
was, they cut at just the right scene or a moment in the scene. They had really great, we'll talk about the angles later on, but like, it was good. I think the choreography, like the acting was good for that. Like the faces weren't all weird,
Right,
how sometimes they can be like they're overdone, like
right, right.
I will have to say though, the main guy, I forgot what his name was. Borodir. Shoot, fire. They're all the same name, man. Like some of these things, Faramir, Boromir, like it just. But it
Right.
was, all these Gondorian names are all the same. I think it was Borodir though, something like this. But at the end, when Rohan comes to his aid, rescues him. He just stands there like a tree in the forest, staring at his blood coming down his face.
Yeah.
And he's just staring at there like, basically, are you okay? And instead of saying, thank you, brethren, for coming to my aid, I was in dire straits, and going into some, theatrical monologue about whatever, he's just like standing there really stiff. I am Borodir, son of blah, blah, blah. And like goes into this weird conversation that was very short though. And I don't know, that's just kind of weird to me. Like I know that they address one another in such a fashion, this is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, blah blah blah. But that
Right.
would seem like really strange. Somebody comes to your rescue and the first thing you need to do is just stand there straight and not say thank you. It was just, by the way, my name is. I don't know. That part was weird to me and not well done as far as his acting. He was really just staring off into, like, he was staring like through them.
Right.
Does that make me want to give it half a point? Not really, because I liked the rest of it, but that part right there really got to
Well,
me.
I think it was that part that I was thinking of that was more on the stiff side.
See, and he's the main
Half,
character.
but,
So if he's the main character and he's, in that moment, again, he doesn't have very many speaking moments. Maybe this is the reason why.
he just looked cool in his costume, so we won't have him speak too much.
But I mean, like even the fighters and everything like that, and like you said, the narrator, I think I'll have to give it a point. I don't want to diss it just for the one guy.
Right. So go ahead, give it a point. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I give it a point.
All right. Well, before we hit cinematography, let's cut into a commercial break for viewers like you.
Did you? Oh, were you? Okay.
What is this?
No, it's.
What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is very beautiful, and go check out www.insidethebooth.tv.com/shop. We have links to all our shop pages. There's also a shop page in the description below.
Get you some merch.
Get some merchandise. That's right. We got some really cool stuff, and don't forget to check it out. Also, everybody, hello. Let's go to everybody who is in the chat or who was in the chat. Miss Martin Muse came by, so we'll say hello to her. I don't know if she's still around. Jacob Ironside was just talking not too long ago, so I'm sure he's still around somewhere. The chairman YT channel. All right, thanks for stopping in. I think I've seen you before. And then we got Uncle Mike. Hey, Uncle Mike, how are you? R2 the Icky was walking his beast of a dog. Puppy, he says. And then he says we can teach horses to count. Yes, that is true. You can. Horses can learn a lot. Horses are smart.
Pretty smart, yeah.
He also loves the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
I've never seen the movie, just a couple of seasons. Yeah.
Seasons of the episodes.
The show.
Jacob Ironside says the main bad guys in this show, the Black Cloth, were a clan of Easterlings under the sway of Sauron. Oh, okay. So they weren't orcs. They were more humanoid.
But so, they had like pointy ears and like one of them had like a smushed forehead. So that's like what tripped me up, you know?
Yeah. R2 also says Dan looks like he brings word that Democrats are trying turn the children woke.
You look like you're bringing word that the Democrats are. Yeah.
That's it. Riding a horse.
Get your cloak
the
on.
British are coming. I'll say the Democrats are coming. The Democrats are
They're
coming.
already here, man. Like, phew, we missed that bus.
Jacob Ironside waves. And that says hello to R2 the Icky. So yeah. Don't forget to smash Vanquish that like button because you love to, and ding the bell and share this and subscribe
for more of that. I can't tell if you were in pain or if you were singing us a lovely little ditty or
it was a little bit of both. No, I wasn't in pain. I was just kind of, it was one of those things where you're kind of thinking and saying something at the same time. And you're like,
been there plenty of times.
You can also become a Patreon member for just $1 a month. Sorry, typing while dragging an 80-pound puppy. Yes, that's okay. Thanks for
you just focus. Don't lose that dog, R2.
That's right.
We could never be friends if
are you dragging the dog or is the dog dragging you? That's the question. They joined forces with orcs.
Well, I'm glad Jacob knows more about this than
yeah, I know, right? We should have
I did. I just watched it at face value, and
yeah, so did I.
You know,
I don't read books.
Right. I know minimal about it.
You know minimal books. You probably only read.
Dan reads pop-up books.
I do. I read the pop-up books. Everybody. If it's got pictures, it's for me, man.
That's right. The best book. I forget what TV show that was. Like, was it Gaston? That's what it was. It was Beauty and the Beast. Gaston's like, this isn't even a real book. Like, there's not even pictures in it. You know.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. So.
All right. Let's see here, and that's all for the commercial break.
And back to the show.
Back to the show.
We talked about plot. We talked about acting.
Now we're on to cinematography. And you know what? I did enjoy the cinematography on this. They even did they filmed like in the morning when the fog and the dew were in the grass. And that was really cool how they captured that on the camera. And how it really did capture on camera well.
Yeah.
So... And then, obviously, the nice drone shots flying over everything. I mean, who doesn't like a nice drone shot, you know? Those drones can do amazing things these days.
They really took it, yeah. I mean, ever since we've been able to film shots like that, without the helicopter moving the trees everywhere.
Mhm.
Like in Sound of the Music.
Right.
It's really stepped up, and the fact that, and we talked about this just a little while ago, the fact that people like us are able to achieve that.
Yeah.
Anybody could buy a drone these days. Yes, they're expensive, but
Yeah.
anybody could buy a drone these
I think
days.
a cheaper one that
Hmm.
works decently.
And I
But
just
of
think that's
course,
mind blowing.
the better ones are expensive. And yeah, you're right. It's crazy. You can get some great shots with drones, because it starts on the ground and it goes all the way up, and it's really cool. Uh,
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, let me move this aside. Cinematography. I guess you're giving it a point.
yes, I'll give it a point.
I give. Jacob says I'm a nerd. Aren't we all, sir? Aren't we all? Um, I've got my Pikachu's, my Star Wars stuff back here. I'm wearing a
That's it.
Stargate necklace. Come on, sir. You're among friends here.
Yes,
Um,
we're a bunch
so
of nerds.
long story short, I will give the cinematography also a point. The reason being is that this really captured I think the essence of Peter Jackson's work. Again, fan film, and you're trying to appeal to a certain audience. You're trying to capture the magic of what Peter Jackson did that made us all, and if not most of us anyway, fall in love with that franchise there.
Yeah,
And there were really great camera angles when the fight scene came on. Like it was so smooth too. And when their things were low to the ground, the B-roll was fantastic.
Mhm.
um just the right angles for everything,
It worked.
and it worked really well. And again, this being a fan film, this fan film got over 2 million views on a channel that has 8,000 subscribers. And
Yeah,
that is just kind of mind-blowing. And well, I'll talk about the other part in the next category. But you get so excited you jump ahead. But and again, in contrast to the Rings of Power, I think one reason this is really difficult, right? So I've mentioned before, either it was on Sunday or somebody else's stream, where the hard part about expecting certain things from franchises is that you're going to have different creators, right? So Amazon, you've got different creators that are going to be Peter Jackson. They want to put their own spin on the coloring and the casting and everything like that, because they have a vision. And we all know what the problem is with the Rings of Power. I'm just speaking from a creative standpoint, or the production standpoint. And it's just amazing again how this fan film, I don't know what their budget was. Seems like it was a decent sized budget, but it was certainly no $1 billion. I can tell you that.
I mean, it did seem cheap. I mean, obviously they had some money,
Yeah, I mean, even the costumes,
right?
pretty nice.
A lot of the costumes were nice in this one. Yeah,
Pretty nice. Minimal acting, but not a lot of dialogue. There were, certain kind of cutscenes. Again, they have the drone, and depending on what kind of camera, and it seemed like a nice camera that they filmed on. Still a low budget film, and this just felt more like a Tolkien world than it would, in Rings of Power. Everything is too vibrant. This
Yeah.
had these colors were they're, I don't know what, it's not like it's muted. It kind of is. It's almost like they're smoother, they're muted kind of
Right.
colors to really give you that feel that you're in the forest. Not everything is magical. This is a magical world, but there's still darkness there, right?
Yeah.
It's not these weird kid colors that you'll see in Rings of Power.
Yeah.
And so
Tune.
I give cinematography a point, because for so many different reasons. Whoever was the director of cinematography and the director of photography in this did a really great job.
Which is in the end credits. So
Right.
if you want to watch that,
Mhm.
the names of these people were just weird. They got like all the little lines.
Well, that's the other thing too. This was filmed in the Czech Republic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I was wondering why it was a little weird, but that's okay.
And that's the thing too. No green screen.
Yeah, there's no green screens. You're
No green
absolutely
screen.
right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect. No green screen. And I mean, that just makes it so much better, people. Like, this just goes to show that you don't have to have weird, finagled technology to create something that will fit in this current time. Like, that fan film's like, what, only 2 years old, right?
Yeah,
I think it keeps up with modern day technology than what we have.
you're right.
I
Right.
think it's fantastic. So,
That's good.
point. And slap you in the face with it. Point.
Oh, I went the wrong way. All right, and then next is music. What you really wanted to talk about. The music of this is wonderful. They came up with their own music. They scored it themselves. Don't know what they used, but they did a fantastic job. So I'll give it a point. And it sounds great. It sounds like it would be part of who made the music for Lord of the Rings?
Howard Shore.
Howard Shore. It sounds like it would have been a Howard Shore music score that they were using, but it's not. But yeah, it has that similar sound to Lord of the Rings, what we really like. So
Gotta readjust there.
this thing.
Yeah. Music, I give it a point as well, like Dan said. So again, I tried to watch The Rings of Power with an open mind, and honestly, there were some music that I liked. I liked when the Harfoots came on and everything like that. It was really good. And then later on, it was just like, and again, this film, I don't know what their budget was, but you could see their passion behind it. The music was really good. Hey, Galaxy Garage. The music was really good. It fit the scenes perfectly, and then there was the moments of silence when there was no music, so they got that spot on. And it's amazing because that's what I was going to say. Was going to jump ahead to, and I had to restrain myself because I got a little too excited there.
That's all right. You could have just jumped into it. That would have been fine. But go ahead.
Is that they also, you can listen to the music just itself without having to watch the show on their YouTube channel. So I recommend guys check it out when you later on, because
music, guys.
They have the individual songs that you can listen to, and how cool
you can make a CD or a mixtape with that.
Oh my gosh, a mixtape! Are people still doing that? I guess we call them playlists now, right? Oh
right, they call them playlists now, but still, what's cooler than a mixtape?
So the music, it didn't hurt the film. It didn't sound cheap.
No, it didn't.
I didn't think it sounded cheap. Brilliant.
They knew what they were doing for the music. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then I don't honestly have much for the allegory because I was so just invested and enamored by what they were able to accomplish that I wasn't even paying attention to what the Jesus aspect of this film was.
Right. Well, good versus evil, like normal. You got the guy calling for help, calling for aid. That's kind of like in our life as we walk with Christ. Sometimes we do get in a rut. We do, let's say the evil is temptation, temptation comes around, and sometimes we may fall. We may have to fight it off a little bit here and there. And then all of a sudden, guess what? You call for help, you call for aid, and God allows aid to come. He brings his angels to come help fight that battle, So I'll give it a point.
I just now thought of one it's a little bit far-fetched, okay? Which you guys know, if you've been watching Inside the Booth for any length of time, sometimes I come up with some really stretched out allegories here. But in Proverbs? When it says, he who hath friends must show himself friendly. And I was just like, well, sometimes you're just going to have to climb every mountain, face a couple of bad guys to find the friends that you need.
That's true too. You need help sometimes. And we do find our friends that will help us. We also have our Christian friends that will come along our side and help us through certain things that we go through. If it's sin or temptation, or if it's just like you get stressed out, or
everyday life.
Everyday life stuff. You get depressed. Sometimes you need someone to come alongside and say, hey, let's pray about this, or hey, let's do something, that is going to help you through what you need help through, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I'll give it a point too for my quick, lightning fast allegory, just because it's there. I mean, I really shouldn't. It's kind of cheating, isn't it?
that's not cheating.
It's
It's
not.
okay.
We cheat around here. It's okay.
You know.
We make up our own rules as we go.
Things are, allegories too, so it's okay.
Right. So, well, that being said, I'll tally up the points as I usually do. Here we go.
That's right, and then I will play around with some of our little videos, guys. We got this. Don't forget, vanquish that like button. We love it. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam.
We got some new toys here on Inside the Booth, thanks to our loving supporters. So,
yes.
Thank you.
So thank you. Yes. Don't forget to.
Want to ring the bell? All right. Ding, ding.
And that gives you actually notifications. So when we post again, you'll get notified on your phone, and it'll tell you, hey, Inside the Booth is going live again, or they're posting a video again. You want to watch it, and hopefully either you're at work and being bored and you say to your phone, yes, I want to watch that right now. Hopefully you're not working on construction or something, and you just
no operating heavy machinery while watching Inside the Booth, please.
And then you can tell your friends about us. Tell your friends about us. And we appreciate everybody. We are going to be doing some different things here and there, especially on other platforms, social media. I probably won't be posting links as much or tagging as much as I used to, because we have gotten some good advice earlier today, and some things I have to think about.
We're trying to get better and better for everybody out there, because we're here for you guys, sort of.
Right.
I mean, I usually come for the for the snacks, but
That's right.
it's come for the snacks.
We had a nice gentleman, a high-profile YouTuber, to talk to us and help us through some of our little things here and there to help grow us a little bit better. So
we're like a plant on the side of the road.
With help, telling other people to watch our stuff, that helps tremendously as well.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget.
The best.
I always think of Matthew whenever
It's the best. And then, even if you already watched us once, go ahead and watch us again the next day. You can put us on mute, but just let it play through. And that'll give us good algorithm. That's what we want. We want that algorithm, so that other
sounds
people
like a disease, though, doesn't it? Or like a tapeworm.
We want that good algorithm.
I don't want that. No, I didn't get
Like good germs, right? It's like a good germ.
And exactly. Algorithms are good germs. So out of 10 possible points that this fan film could have gotten, Dan, what do you think it got?
It got 10, I believe, because I don't think none of us said no to it.
This is true. It did get a 10 out of 10. While I don't necessarily think it's the most perfect fan film, I would have to say it's one of the best fan films that I've ever seen. And I will definitely confirm, myself personally, that this fan film is better constructed, better produced.
Thank you, Jacob Ironside.
Than The Rings of Power. This is magic. So you guys should definitely check it out. Help out another fellow YouTuber by, going over, watching it, listening to some of his music. It's worth the time. It's absolutely worth
19 minutes. Definitely.
Absolutely. If you're looking for some good Tolkien stuff and you're just so sick of Amazon, go watch these people.
That's it. Speaking of which, let's throw out some honorable mentions.
Oh, yes, the ones that did not quite make it.
That did not quite make it, but are still fun to watch. I actually do not have their links in the description, which I am sorry about that. Maybe I'll put it on later. But there's this one called, what was it called? The Hunt for Gollum.
Mm-hmm. I saw that a couple years ago, actually. Hey,
Right.
Ado.
Ado, what's up? So this one's called The Hunt for Gollum and Gollum. Sorry, Gollum. I don't know how would you really say it. I mean, Gollum.
Golem.
Gollum.
Yeah, Golem.
How does Gollum say it when he's coughing?
Well, he like hacks it out of his throat. I don't really feel like doing that on live channel right now, but like Archie says, fake it till you make it. Exactly. It's just
That's it.
Smeagol. We'll just go with that.
Smeagol. And that's a decent one. Obviously has some issues and stuff. That's one reason
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's older than this one, though. It's older
Right.
than the
It
Horn of
is older.
Gondor.
You're right.
But yeah,
I think they stole some stuff too, like little footages here and there.
it's actually a lot, quite a bit based on the book as well, because in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, they don't talk about how Aragorn was hunting Smeagol or Gollum, and so this tells that story. So it was really cool. That's what's so great about fan films, is the fact that you can kind of fill in the gaps.
Right.
That we didn't get to see
Right.
with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. So this tells an in-between moment that's actually in the books, but not in the movies.
Oh, cool. See, I didn't know that.
Dan, for Christmas, I'm getting you an audiobook, man. You got to listen to these books.
No, I'll have
They're
to buy
so
one of those.
good.
What are those?
He's
They're
like one
not
of those
tablets,
paper
but they're
things.
like tablets, and and you can put the audibles in there.
I wouldn't doubt there's a channel on
Right,
YouTube that maybe reads it or something like that.
Right. Yeah, or even a YouTube channel that reads the books. Maybe that'll be cool.
But yeah, we'll get him to listen to it one day, guys. We're gonna make him a real fan, like
Yes,
like an overall fan,
yeah.
a well-rounded fan.
Yeah, but definitely, I like movies, so those movies.
Oh, I love movies too,
They're-
but like the books just have so much
This
richness.
fan film is awesome. And then there was another one, an honorable mention. It's called Hope of. I don't remember.
I didn't get a chance to watch that one. It looked really interesting. It came on as a suggestion after I watched The Horn of Gondor, and I was going to watch it, but I didn't have enough time, so I'm gonna have to check that out as well.
Yeah, that one is more of a full length movie.
Oh, it's right. It was like an hour and some. That's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I had like half an hour to get everything ready for the show, and I was like, okay, let me do this. But yeah, absolutely. We'll get Dan to.
A good way to find these things is just in the search bar. You just type in Lord of the Rings fan films, and you can find pretty much a lot.
Oh yeah, there's dozens of them. Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's quite a bit. Yep.
But these were the top ones, the top tier
Yes.
ones. We were
Born of Hope was the
That's
name
what
of
it
that one.
was. Born of Hope. And that's got your diversity and your inclusion, because if I'm not mistaken, there's a woman in the thumbnail. So there we go.
There you go. I mean, that's the best.
There you go.
And also, I mean, I didn't finish watching the Born of Hope, but that one I got about 20 minutes in, and it was decent. So I mean,
Did it make you want to finish it?
Well, of course.
Well, sometimes they don't. Like you're watching it, and you're like,
I mean, there are obviously some boring parts, but of course, because of my curiosity, I always like finishing.
You want to know how it ends, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Will the two star-crossed lovers fall? No, I don't
Hello,
know.
Mom.
I haven't seen it. Hi, Mom.
Yeah. So there you have it. This fan film is better than
The Rings of Power.
The Rings of Power.
We said it. We dared to say it.
That's it. And, I mean, if you like The Rings of Power, that is great.
Absolutely.
You can leave a comment down below or in the chat right now saying, hey, I love that show. Don't be hating, but we're not really hating.
No, not hating. I have admitted that The Rings of Power thus far, for me, is pleasant to watch if I don't think about it as being Tolkien.
Right, and part of the lore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess I heard that they take like little snippets of like one of the lore books, but they don't really go on. They don't really follow it.
Right, it's not by the book, and
they take little parts and then they do their own thing.
because they don't have the rights to the entire story, so they had to cherry pick from it, which doesn't make sense anyway if you're going to spend this kind of money.
I mean,
so
why not
that's a
just
lot
make
of money.
Fan film and like do like the fan films do, like, you know, fill in some of the gaps that Peter Jackson couldn't do.
I think it was just tricky with copyright issues. Like they weren't able to, which is weird. The people who are in charge, I kind of, all right. Let's hate on Amazon as much as we want to. Okay.
Yeah, Amazon.
All right. But really, guys, if you think about it, the people who own, maybe somebody needs to correct me, but the people who own the rights to this franchise, to the books, the lore, everything, what in the heck were they thinking only selling snippets? Can you really? Did
they sell it, or was it more kind of like,
or allow
cherry
it?
Picked the snippets and used it as fair use, I guess you could say.
Well, but even still, whoever was in charge said, "Well, you know, we respect Tolkien enough. We don't want to give you all of the rights. We'll just allow you to use some of them." Whoever was in charge of that, what were they thinking? Because Amazon had the desire to make something Tolkien. Bravo for them for wanting to do that, right? So, in a way, is it really their fault if they wanted to make something Tolkien, but they weren't able to acquire all the rights because the people wouldn't let them?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would. I guess that you would have.
I would love to be informed
and see how that turned out and everything.
I'm just saying, maybe we're putting hate on the wrong people. You know. Maybe we're pointing a finger at the wrong group of people.
I mean, very well could be. Obviously, they had an agenda, though, as well.
Yes.
Especially with the marketing.
Yes. Now that was wrong.
The marketing is what killed it. Really,
yes, it really was.
So.
Yeah. But.
So they thems have a great time. No. They thems. You people. You people.
Jesus loves you. Learn to love yourself.
Jesus loves you. That's right. Learn to love what Jesus made.
There you go.
If you're a boy, you're a boy. If you're a girl, you're a girl. Jesus made you, and that's how you should love it.
For a purpose.
And that's it. And if you are mentally thinking you're something that you're not, that deserves, some help. You need help when that happens. But I guess I should not get too political right now because I can go on a rant.
Right, we're here to talk about Lord of the Rings.
We're talking about right now.
We'll keep you happy and positive as much as we can.
Yes.
People come here to escape reality, sort of. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
We'll see.
What kind of reality show is this?
It's true. You're dressed up like, you got a cape on, and I've got Pokemon in my background. So who are we really?
That's it. Well, this was fun, guys. Hey, this is probably one of our shortest shows ever. That's wonderful.
That's right. Hey, quality over quantity, right? Am I right?
That's it.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for being here. Don't forget,
you gotta tell them Silent Breed is people.
It's our job to let you know because it's 2022. Next year we won't have to tell you because we might make it, we might not. But until then, don't touch the Soylent Green. Don't touch it. You heard it here.
Well, we gotta change that. We gotta say McDonald's food is people.
Don't eat the crickets. Yeah.
So there you go, short and sweet. That's it. So thanks guys for coming. Martin, thanks for coming. R2, Jacob, Mom, Ado,
all you lovely people.
I'm trying to get everybody's name because all y'all are here. So, but thanks for coming, and have a wonderful night, and we will see you all Sunday. Where we are going to rumble the Hobbit. So be there or be square, my friend.
As they say.
That's right. So good night, everybody. We will see you later.
tape!